Hello and welcome everyone. So on this video we are going to start animating all the other shapes that contains color on Adobe After Effects. Okay, this is where we left off on the last video. First of all, we're going to click on the shy switch here and we're going to deactivate it. Now I'm going to unhide the shy icons that we have over here. And I'm going to do the opposite as before. I'm going to activate it for every layer that has lines. There we go. And now I'm going to activate the main shy switch. Okay, so we are only seeing the layers that contain some color on it. So as you can see, this is our animation so far. But we want to animate the other shapes too. So we're going to do the same thing as we did before. We're going to start from the bottom up. So I'm going to start with the base and I'm going to zoom in a bit so you can see better what I'm doing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to create a mask. So I'm going to select this rectangle tool at the very top and I'm going to click on it. Then select the layer that I'm going to apply this mask to. And over here we have two icons. We have a star and next to it we have this kind of grid. So if we have the star selected, the tool creates a shape, as you can see here, but that's not what we want now, so I'm going to undo this. I'll click on the grid, which is Tool Creates Mask. So I'm going to draw a big rectangle that covers the entire shape. And as you can see, we now have a mask under the contents of this layer. So we are going to expand Mask 1. So as you can see, we have several options under that: mask path, feather, opacity, and mask expansion. But for now we are going to use only mask path. So we are going to click on the stopwatch on frame number 0 for mask path. So we're going to start the animation of the mask there. And we're going to create the second keyframe for this animation on frame number 10. So of course we're going to do that by clicking on this diamond shaped icon. So we're going back to frame number 0 now and we're going to modify the values for this. So the easiest way to go about it is to just modify the position for this mask. So we're going to move it down, so on frame number 0 this mask shape is below the main shape. So on frame number 10 it moves up and reveals the color. Now I'm going to hide this shadow layer so we can take a better look on how this animation looks like. So as you can see, this mask animation appears at the same time that the line is being drawn. So this is roughly what I had in mind, and of course I'm going to fine-tune some of the keyframes for this animation. So as you can see, I have moved the first keyframe to frame number 6 and I'm going to move the last one as well. Okay, I think this works. Now we're going to take care of the shadow for this base shape. So first of all we're going to unhide it and then we're going to hit T on the keyboard to bring the opacity. And now I'm going to, over here on frame number 11, create the first keyframe for this. And let's say on frame number 16, we are going to create the second keyframe. Then I'm going back to the first keyframe and I'm going to enter 0% for opacity. And the last one will be, of course, 100%. So as you can see, the shadow appears with a fade effect. Just like that. Now I'm going to collapse these layers and I'm going to take care of the middle part for this element. So I think I want to start the animation for this layer about here where this line is completed. So I'm going to again take the rectangle tool over here. Be sure that Tool Creates Mask is selected and then create a big rectangle that goes across the entire shape. Now I'm going to create the first keyframe for this on frame number 7 and I'm going to use the option called Mask Path again. So the last keyframe should be about here on frame number 12. Again I'm going to go to the first keyframe of this animation, take the selection tool and I'm going to move the mask. I can even use the arrow keys on the keyboard to do it, or just click and drag. which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring it down so the mask appears from the bottom up. Okay, there we go. So I think I'm going to modify the timing for this animation so it appears a bit after. So I'm going to take both keyframes and move them to the right of the timeline. So I want this part of the element to appear after the base has appeared. Okay, just like that. So now I'm going to take care of the shadow layer for this middle part of the element. So I'm going to select the layer, press T to bring the opacity, and I'm going to enter 2 keyframes on the timeline. And then I'm going to move to the first one and enter 0% as a value for the opacity. So now, once again, I'm going to zoom in so we can see how this looks. Okay, so far so good. It's looking perfect at the moment. Now it's time to move on to the next element. We're going to take care of the main shape. So we're going to select that layer, which is called Main Outlines. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to select the layer and I'm going to create a mask, but this time I'm going over to the rectangle tool, but I'm going to click and hold. And this time I'm going to select the ellipse tool. And of course, be sure to select the option Tool Creates Mask by clicking on this grid icon. And now I'm going to go ahead and create a big circle. We're going to place it around the base, but you don't have to be perfect about the position. Okay, so there we have our mask. It's a different one this time, and I'm going to use a different property. So I'm going to start over here. Frame number 15 will be the first keyframe for this animation. And this time I'm going to go with mask expansion. So I'm going to create the first keyframe here. And the last one will be on frame number 25. So as you can see, mask expansion is like a scale option for a mask. So I'm going to go ahead and modify the last keyframe to make it really big, about 250%. So there we go. And on the first keyframe, I don't want this to be visible at all. So what I'm going to do is to click and drag to the left to make it a negative number, so it's becoming invisible. It's shrinking so much that you can't even see it anymore. So there we go. So basically this is how the animation will look like. The mask will appear and it will grow. Okay, I like how it's looking so far. So I'm going to preview it and I'm going to check if everything is okay, and I'm going to leave it as it is. Okay, it's all good now. Okay, so I'm going to unhide these layers and I'm going to collapse the layer that I just used. And now I'm going to take care of the shadow for this main shape, which is this layer that we have over here. So as always, I'm going to select the layer, press T to bring the opacity. I'm going to add 2 keyframes on frame number 25 and 33, I think. And of course, on the first keyframe, I'm going to enter 0% as the value for the opacity. Okay, just like that. Now we're going to take care of the shape that is the actual liquid, the actual coffee inside the coffee mug, which is this brown shape that we have over here. So first of all, I'm going to check how the lines behave, and I think I'm going to start over here at this point of the timeline. So this is the layer that I called coffee. I'm going to hide the shadow layer so I can see better. So I'm going to take the rectangle tool once again. I'm going to click on Tool Creates Mask and draw a big rectangle that covers the entire shape. Now I'll create the first keyframe for mask path over here on frame number 19, and it should end about here on frame number 31. Of course, this isn't set in stone. I'm estimating the keyframe positions. I'm choosing the frames that I find that may work better, but feel free to do it your own way when you practice this at home. So there's another way to go about this. So I'm going to go to the first keyframe, double click on the bounding box, and this transformation bounding box will appear. So now I can scale it down instead of dragging it down. So it will produce the same result, but it's another possibility, and it's nice to mention it. So it's good to have that in mind. Okay, so let's continue. So the animation for the mask is complete, and I'm going to activate the layer for the shadow. And as usual, I'm going to hit T to bring the opacity. So over here, where the animation for the mask ends, I'm going to place the first keyframe. And then my last keyframe will be over here. And then I'm going to enter 0% opacity on the first keyframe, and there we go. Now all that's left is to create a mask for the handle. So I think that for this shape, I'm going to use an ellipse. So always be sure that you have the tool creates mask activated before you draw your shape. So I'm making this ellipse cover everything, and then I'm going to go to mask path. Now I'm going to check where I should place my first keyframe, and I think about here will work, which is frame number 15. And the last keyframe should be about here. Again, I'm going to double click on the bounding box so I can free transform, and I'm going to scale it down. So basically I want this mask to expand from the center outwards. It's similar to using mask expansion, but it's another approach. Now I'm going to move these two keyframes so this animation plays earlier. So I think this will look a bit better. Now it's time to preview the entire thing again. Okay, there we go. That's perfect. I'm liking it so far. And now I'm going to contract everything here, and I'm going to deactivate the shy switch, because I want to make a few adjustments to this before we finish. For example, I think that the brown line for the coffee should appear later on. So instead of modifying each individual keyframe, what I can do is to click and drag on the actual layer here and drag it a bit to the right. So this entire layer will start a few frames later. So it's good to have this in mind. You can do this for any layer. You can just click and drag it so you can modify the position on the timeline. So in this case, I'm going to do the same thing for the fumes. I want it to start later on. So I'm going to select this layer and click and drag it a few frames to the right. And in this case, I want to select this layer, hit Ctrl D to duplicate the layer. And now I'm going to modify the timing for this duplicate layer by clicking and dragging on it. And I'm going to leave the other one as it is. So now the animation plays twice, but with a minor difference in time. So as you can see, the result is a very cool effect that you can achieve by doing very little. And you can even adjust how this effect, how this animation looks like, by adjusting the separation between these two layers. So the distance on the timeline between these two layers will change how this animation plays, how it looks like. So feel free to play with it and find what you like best. So now to preview it more comfortably, I'm going to locate the end of the animation, which is over here on frame number 65, and I'm going to place the end of the work area around here. Okay, so this is all for this video. On the next one, we'll continue with this animation. See you there.